Greetings, fellow magical wanderers. Welcome back to another video. I speak that you all have been having such a beautiful, harmonious, prosperous week thus far, and day thus far. There's a lot of shifts that are occurring with the soul and with the body. As one, there's a transmutation happening to where the soul is coming through and the body is having to adapt and shift to reflect what the soul is wanting to bring forward. And in some instances, that can be painful and uncomfortable. But in other instances, it can be feeling absolutely liberating and like a new version of yourself is coming to be. And that is exactly the point. This is a tipping point in the society, on the planet, interpersonally, in our own lives. We are experiencing the tipping point, and it's time for us to come forward with ease and grace and radical acceptance just as we are, doing whatever we desire to do and being free and feeling that freedom to do and be and say and think and believe and see and hear and taste. Just be free to live life in all of its senses and all of its experiences, because it's not going anywhere as long as we are here, so might as well enjoy it while we can. And recently there's been some red flags that your soul has been bringing to your beingness, your physical self. Reflect on that as I wait for this siren to pass by. So, what do you feel is needing to change in your life? Are you happy with where you're at? Are you happy with who you are? Are you happy with the choices that you have made? Are you happy with the work that you're doing? Are you happy with what you're seeing in the mirror? That's what's happening as we are becoming more clear on how we can best manifest what brings us happiness, joy, purpose, fulfillment into our lives. And for me, recently, what I have been doing to bring my own sense of fulfillment is going at my own pace and learning to trust deeper my intuition, spirit, and whatever occurrences are happening in my life, whatever is coming forward for me to work with, or whatever is starting to surface in the heart or wanting to let go of out of the mind. And there's been a lot of simplicity to that, a lot of going with the flow, a lot of being slow, going at my own pace, and a lot of just being present with whatever is and allowing that beauty to be as it is without trying to make it beautiful. I don't need to try and make something that's already beautiful beautiful, because then I would be trying to make that beautiful as far as how I perceive beauty to be. But really, it's already beautiful just as it is. And it is perfectly imperfectly perfect just as it is. So so stop and smell the roses. Smell the flowers. Take a break. Stop where you are in your tracks just to gain a new perspective, perhaps. Maybe something is right there in front of you, but there's no possible way you can take it in or perceive it if you zoom past it on your way to something. And this could literally mean that you're driving, something's happening over here on the side of the road that you maybe want to be a part of or help. Like, say there's a hurt animal, okay? And if you're zooming and you're not paying attention, fully present behind the wheel, then you're not going to pay that any mind or attention. You're just going to go right past it, not even think about it. But if you are taking your time, you're driving at the speed limit or even under, and you're going at a slower pace, passing by that scene will make you feel more of a pull to go to that and help it. Help the animal. Take it off of the road, or whatever that situation may call for. But there's a blessing in just being slower and going at your own pace. You get to acknowledge things that are present rather than zooming right past the things that want to offer you some kind of gift. And that gift can just be a simple perspective, a simple new way of how you think about things or how you see things. And it does take a certain kind of person and personality to stop and help an injured animal on the side of the road. And I give you that example because recently that's what I did. I was driving fairly slower than I usually do, because I kind of am a fast driver, like a NASCAR a little bit. My car is just like a go-kart, so I get in it and it's small and it just feels like it can go. But I was slower at this time, and what happened is I was driving down a road, and in the distance I saw that there was something laying on the road, and it was moving. I couldn't tell yet if it was a leaf or if it was like a piece of trash that was moving from the cars driving over it, and driving over it literally, like not touching it but driving over it. And it would move until I got closer and I stopped my car on the sidewalk to the side, and I saw that it was a squirrel. And I love squirrels to begin with. It was a squirrel, and it had been ran over, and it was pretty much dead, but it was still struggling. And I got out of my car. Well, first, miraculously, I had some latex gloves in my car from a past job that I used to do being a caregiver. And those have probably been in my car for over a year now, and I never took them out, just because you never know when you're gonna need gloves. If you're out camping and you don't want to get your hands all dirty or sticky with ingredients if you're cooking, and been there, done that. Gloves. Okay, so I put on the gloves and I went over to the scene. And mind you, I had to stop and wait for cars to like get out. And I went over there, and the squirrel was in pretty deathly condition. And I knew that it wasn't, that life form had been done, finished. So I took it by the tail and I brought it to the side of the road in the brush. And I left it there. I said a little prayer. I told it it's free to exit its body and go to its family or go wherever it desires to go, but you are free. You're not condemned to just having your soul planted on this road here. You I've been liberated. And so I give you that example because when we do take our time, we notice the different things in our field that we otherwise would not if we didn't take our time. And if I had been going at my usual fast pace, I would have driven by the squirrel, probably not even really look at it, realizing it's a squirrel, onward to my destination, wherever I was going in such a hurry, which I wasn't on a time limit to get there. So why is it that we're driving so fast to get to a hurry somewhere when it's still gonna be there, regardless if we get there in 5 minutes or 2 hours? The park is still gonna be there. That's where I went. And it was just a reminder. And it was something that clicked, that told me, take things more slow. Go at my own pace. Don't feel like I have to fit the mold of societal ways of living and how that norm is. Don't feel like you have to be in that mold if that doesn't feel right for you. And it truly asks you at that point to connect to your true self and to know if that actually is you, so that you're not really in a mold, that's just how you are, or over time have you transformed in a way that has matched the mold of these outside occurrences, and your beingness has changed into that way that isn't necessarily who you truly are. Because maybe you are someone, not fitting into that mold. You are perhaps someone that loves slow walking into forests, nature bathing, and just taking in all the sensations and the fresh air, and perhaps being barefoot and being really present and slow as you are forest bathing. And that's quite different from the societal norm, and perhaps you are that way. So when this instance for me happened, that's when I connected to that knowingness of, oh, not only why am I constantly driving fast to get to the place that I'm going that's still going to be there if I even take my time getting there, but why am I driving fast? Why am I fitting that mold? Why is it that I'm not otherwise present when these things are occurring? And ever since that happened, a whole lot has changed. I have been reconnecting to my true self. I have been taking things a lot slower. I have been being present a lot more. I have been solution-oriented mindset, and there's been this compassionate state in my heart that's been expanding. In me knowing that I have the heart to stop on the side of the road and take care of an injured animal, bring it to safety, or escort it out of its body, which not everybody does, or can do, or will do. So there's something there. And for me personally, I saw how special that made me feel. Not in an egoic kind of way, but special as in I brought that squirrel peace. And therefore, I felt more at peace. with myself. Because I think it was, yeah, I want to say it was after the butterfly that I was taking care of, that literally planted itself under my foot as I was walking. I happened to turn back to double check and see for sure if that's what happened. And sure enough, there was a butterfly laying there on the ground right where my foot was. And there was this pole that I had, that present pole. I was present, slow walking in that moment. And I didn't feel any inclination in myself to just be like, oh, it's another butterfly, stepped on it, it's probably gonna die, let me just walk away and nature will do its thing. That's not any percentage of what I felt in me at all. So what I ended up feeling was, one, to either put it out of its misery and pain, so step on it and kill it, expedite the process of it leaving its body, or I can pick it up, hold it in my hand, tend to it, feed it, allow it to gain its strength back. And what I ended up doing was staying at the park all day, tending to that butterfly, sitting with it, talking to it, putting healing, loving affirmations and vibrations into that butterfly to help its healing process. And after that, after me realizing that, oh, this butterfly isn't going to leave my presence today because it's not doing too well, I decided to take it home and make its own little garden. And I gave it a slice of banana, I gave it some orange slice, and some sugar water. And it started regaining its strength back and started crawling up and out of the garden and crawling up onto my window. And at that point I was like, oh my gosh, you are wanting to go back outside and fly away. So what I would do is I would pick it up, it would go onto my hand, I would bring it downstairs, take it outside. Turns out it only wanted fresh air because it did not want to leave my finger. It did not want to leave. Like, I would literally put it on the grass and it would crawl onto the grass. But then it started crawling back towards me. Like it wanted to go back to me. And I realized too that its wings had some holes in it from the force of the step that happened in the first place. Some rocks or something punched through it, and they were little holes, but they were enough to make a butterfly not fly again. And I hadn't realized that until 2 days in, and I knew that it was going to regain its strength and everything, and it's gonna eventually get back outside, and that's what I was hoping for. But when I realized it was continuously coming back towards me and it had these holes in its wings, I received the message that it wanted to pass with me. And so I want to say about 5 days went by with me taking care of this butterfly and being present with it. And I can't go into too much detail on what that process brought me personally, but let's just say that insights were bouncing off the walls. And there was a really deep healing occurring and taking place. And it reminded me of that beautiful simplicity of life that already is, that joy, that happiness, that liberation that is already present. It's just up to us if we want to open our fields up to it. If we want to allow our wings to grow and sprout out so that we can fly unto wherever we want to go in our life. This butterfly brought me the reminder of joy and connection, truth and laughter, lightness and happiness, patience, and discipline. Brought me a lot, and I'm really grateful for that experience with the butterfly. And now that it has passed, and I decided I wanted to I wanted to create that experience as an art piece for me to hold and be reminded of just how much of a heart I have to do something like that. I spent a week healing a butterfly, offering it its desires based on its species that I did my research on, in faith and hope that it was gonna regrow its strength and fly away out in nature. But what ended up happening is I regrew my strength and my love and my joy for myself and what I'm passionate about in life. And it showed me that the butterfly wasn't outside of myself. It was right in my gut. And I invited it to show up every time I felt butterflies in my stomach, to know that it's that butterfly. And now, just today, after preserving it, I decided to make it into a silicone mold so that I can hold it and meditate with it and connect to the butterfly realm. So it's gonna be nice. But I felt called to share that story because if I hadn't been walking slowly on that path, I would not have recognized that a butterfly flew under my foot. And I definitely would not have turned back to see if that's really what happened. And I definitely would not have decided to take that butterfly into my hand and help care for it back to life. So what does that tell you in just a fraction percentage of what you could possibly experience when you're more present? What does that tell you in of the beauty and the magic of life that's already present? You don't have to make it. Just open up to it. See it, hear it, taste it, feel it. It's already there. There's magic all around. It's when we start feeling so heavy and foggy and purposeless and hopeless and wound up in all these collective things that don't exactly pertain to our personal lives, but we attach to them and then we start taking on that weight. Well, that takes us out of the presence. And then we're not able to see what's right in front of us. We're not able to feel the miracles that are floating all around us. We're not able to connect to the elementals. We're not able to even meditate in peace and silence or with clear intention. And that's what I've been working on recently. As you all know, how empathic I am. I started feeling the occurrences that were happening in the world 2 weeks prior to them actually starting to happen. And mind you, down in the Southern California region, that was my birthplace. So I am energetically attached to that region. And with all of that occurring down there, I've been processing through quite some stuff. And I am on the other side of it because I know what is coming from it. But those 2 weeks prior to it happening and not knowing what was happening other than my shadow aspects coming up and my demons coming up and me having to face it all and go into my own medicine and my meditation and my peacefulness and my mindfulness, but that still being a struggle to access because of the weight I was feeling. I mean, it made me make some choices that I'm not exactly proud of. And during that time, some specific meaningful things started to also exit my life. And some of the things I'm still integrating because of what they actually mean in the long run, and what was shared with me simultaneously as they were leaving. Let's just say that I've been doing a lot of introspection and personal development. And to the parties concerned, I apologize. And I'm going to leave that there. I'm not going to publicly announce it, but I do apologize. And all I know is that everything happens for a reason, and that reason may not be very visible right now, so I'm just feeling it in my heart, and I'm allowing that to change myself in a good way, in a productive way. Thank you for teaching me what all you taught me. Thank you for the presence and the time that you shared, the wisdom that you shared, the love, the nourishment, the reciprocity, and yeah, on to the next chapter, in which I'm fully enveloped and fully intentional to take my time, to be more present, and to be more centered in joy and happiness and purpose, following my joy and whatever feels true to me, and allowing the curiosity and the excitement of new projects to be the leading force rather than overthinking the smaller details and wondering how this is going to be and what's going to cause that to happen, but just leading with joy and peace and compassion and patience and love and presence. And Yeah. Even if you don't want to hear about my personal life happenings, what I'm offering to you is simply gifted for free in the exchange in which you just click on the video and start watching and hearing my voice. Because I embody the state of peace and patience. Sometimes a little less than other times. But I'm learning to find my own balance. And I feel like my presence alone offers something that is of benefit to whomever needs it at that time. So may you take what resonates and leave the rest where it is. And thank you for tuning in to this energetic exchange and for receiving what has been transmuted now. I speak you have an absolutely beautiful rest of this blessed full moon in Sagittarius day. And remember, you do not have to fit the mold of society. Get to know your true self, connect to your heart, get out of the overbearing mind, get into your body, and pursue new creative projects from a place of joy, excitement, and curiosity. And pull in your fields and love yourself, especially at this time, here now. And until next time, thank you. Namaste.